Hello dear friends, in this session we are going to understand how to design and write a simple calculator in the C#.NET using Windows application. Here is the sample output of this program. Here a label is designed on which the text A is displayed. Here we will display the expression that we added here. A text box to display the input and output. These are some operations. And this program works like that. When I use this back button, it delete the digit, a single digit like that. And when I use any operation like this, it displays the result of the operation here, and it also displays the expression here. So let's see how to design and write such Windows application in C#.NET. So Visual Studio 2019 is installed in this machine. We have to create the new project. We have to choose the project category as Windows Form application. Then you can specify the valid name for your project. My calculator 2. After creating the project, a project will be added in Visual Studio. Here is the form of this project. We can design this form like a calculator. First we want to change the text that is there on title bar. So for that I am using the text property for this. So I am adding here my calculator. Then I want to change the font size of this form. So for that I am selecting the font property and keeping the font size of this form as bold and 12. Okay. After that, our font size gets increased. When we increase this font size, form size also increase. Okay. Then we can keep the form size as per the requirement. Then we have to add one label here to display the expression. Then I am moving toward the common controlling toolbox, getting the label from there. So here is the label. I want to add the text E on this label. So for that I am moving toward the text property and I am specifying here E. Then I need to take a text box. So I have dragged the text box from toolbox. We can keep the size of text box as per the requirement. Then we have to change the alignment of this text box as right alignment. So for that we have a text align property. Then we can choose here right alignment. After that we want to add buttons here for performing operations and getting the number. So for adding button, so I am going to add here the table layout panel first, and in that table layout panel we will add buttons. After designing the table layout panel, one option menu is displayed there. Through that we can add the columns that is required and rows that is required. Initially there are 2 rows and 2 columns are there. If we want to add 4 columns, we can click this add column button 2 times, and if you want to add 5 rows, then we can select this add row option. So after that I need to set the size of this cell, or the row and column cell size I need to set. So for that I can use this edit rows and column option. So here the default size type is percent, and the size is added here 50% to the first column. I need to change this size. I am going to make the equal size column. I am giving the 25% column size to first column, then again 25% to second column, then again the 25% to third column, and similar to that 25% to last column. So in this way we can change the size of the column. Then we can change the size of the rows. So initially the row size is added like this. We can change the row size to 20%. We have 5 rows, so we can equally divide the rows. So for the first row I am adding here 20%. Then to the second row again I am adding the 20%. Similar to that for the third row I am adding 20%. Fourth row is again 20%. Then the last row is again 20%. Okay. When we select the OK option here, you will get the equal size columns and rows. Then we can design this table layout as per our requirement. Okay, we have designed like this. Then we want to add the button on each cell of the table panel. So for that we can move toward the toolbox. Then we can design the button using the button control there. So after that a button will be added. We want to fill this button to this cell, to cell size of the table layout panel. So for that I can use dock property directly. I have selected the button is selected there, and I am using the dock property, and in front of dock property I am using the fill value. So button is filled to this in the cell. Then I need to change the text of this button. So again I am moving toward the text property window and then selecting the text property. So the text I am adding here is CE. Then we can make the copy of this button in every cell. So simply I am using Ctrl C and Ctrl V to make the copy of the same button here. After that we need to change the text of each button. To this button I want to set the text C. Then in this way we can add the text to every button. To this button I want to add the text less than. So this is the back button. We can get back using this button. And to this button we want to add, we need not to move to the property window every time. We have to select the button and we can directly add the character that we want to add on it. So I am adding here division, here multiplication, here minus, here plus, and here equal to, like that. From here we can add here 7, then 8, then 9, then 4, 5, 6, then 1, 2, 3, then here dot, then single, 0, double 0. Like that we can design the calculator. After that we can move toward the code. We need to write the code for this calculator. So what will be the code? The code we need to write like this is what? When we select this button, whatever the text which is there on this button, we need to display that text on this text box. After that when you select this 8 button, then we have to display the 7 and 8 on the text box. Means what? We only have to get the text which is there on button, and we have to concatenate the text with the previous text, and we have to display that text on text box. Okay, so this will be the code for this numeric button, numeric keypad, and for the operations we need to write some different code. So for that, so first we will write the code for this numeric button. So I am moving toward the code window code window now. I am double clicking on this 7. So I am going to write the code for this 7 first. Okay, so once I double click on this 7, a function will be added for this button, that is the button 5 click function. The name of the button is button 5. Whatever the button name is there, we have to take the text which is there on button. So for that I am going to declare one variable here, str equal to blank, and I am writing like this, str equal to str plus button. What is the button? Button 5.text, like that. So whatever the text is there on button, I am concatenating the text with empty string. Okay, so str initially is empty, so empty string is concatenated with the button text. If I use the second button, then the first button text and the second button text will be added in str. So we can display the str in text box. So text box 1.text is equal to str. Okay, so such similar code we need to write for every button. Similar code we need to write for every button. So how can we write? So to this 8 button, again I am writing the same code. Okay, again I am moving toward the design window. I am selecting all the buttons at a time, and I can double click on the buttons so that I will get the functions for each button. So I am making the copy of these two lines inside the every button function. Only we need to change here is, whatever the button is there, we have to take the text on that button. So similar to that, I am making the copy of it. It is button 19. So I need to write here button 19. Whatever the text is there on 19, we have to take that text and we have to concat that text with str, and we can display the text on text box. So same code we need to copy to every button. So this is button 9, so we need to change the button 9. Then this is button 10, so I am changing here button 10 again. So this is 11th button, so I am changing the button by 11.text. Then button 13, then button 14, then button 15, then button 17 is there, then button 18, and at the last button 7 is there. So in this way we can write the code for each button. Now we will check whether it is working or not. I am starting this program. So here is the output, and I am using the button 4, 5, 6. Okay, so it's working correctly as per the requirement. Okay, dot is also working, etc. Like that we can work like that. Okay, so this is the code for all these numeric button. Then we can move toward the code, writing code for these operations, these 4 operations. Okay, first we write the code for these 4 operations, and then finally we will write the code for this equal to. Okay, the code for these 3 buttons we will write at the end. Then what code we need to write for these operations when we select this operation? So what should be done behind the scene? So whatever the text which is there in text box, that need to be considered as a number 1, and when we use this button, after that again we specify some input. Before using the equal to button, whatever the input we specified after the operation button, that input is taken as a second number, need to be taken as second number, and then we have to perform number 1 and number 1 operation number 2. Such code we need to write to the equal to button, for this equal to button. So we will start writing the code for these operations. So now I am moving towards the operation button. To this division button, I am writing the code for this division button first. So once the division button or any operation button is selected, we need to take the text which is there in text box as the first number, and after the operation button we have to take the text which is there in text box as the second number. So for that we need to declare the two variables as first number and second number. So for that I am going to declare the variables here. I am going to declare the variable of type double n1 comma n2. Okay, then operation, whatever the operation we perform, we need to store the result of this operation. So for that I am going to declare the variable answer for that, and again I am declaring another variable called op, which is of type string, which is used to take the operation on which is need to take the text on which button we have pressed, or which button we have used. Whatever the text which is there, we need to take that text as an operation text, as an operation symbol. So for that I have declared here operation variable. So after that we will write the code for this division. So what will be the code for this division? So code will be like this. So if what will be the code for this operation button? So whatever the text which is there in text box, we need to read that text as text box 1.text, text box 1.text. Okay, but the text which is there is a text box contains a text. We need to convert that text to double value because this is a double variable. So for that I need to write here double dot parse. Okay, while doing so, some error may occur if the text which is there in text box is not valid double value. So at that time some error may occur. To handle those errors, we can write try catch mechanism. So I am writing this code inside the try catch. So okay, so I need to write handle this exception if the exception is occurred at runtime. Okay, this is the code that we have written for division button. After that, after we getting the number as a first number, the text which is there in text box, we need to clear the string. Then we need to clear the text box dot clear, we can write like this. Okay, then we have to take the operation. Operation is what? Operation is on which button we have pressed. Whatever the text which is there on that button, we have to take the text which is there as an operation. Button is button 4. Button 4 dot text is an operation. Then we have to display the first number and the operation to the label that we have designed. We are going to display the expression that is given by user on label. So for that we can write the code like this: label 1 dot text is equal to label 1 dot text plus, we'll concat this with space and we'll concatenate the value which is there on text box 1. Okay, whatever the text is there on text box, we will concatenate that text with label text. Okay, so this statement we have written up after the text which is added on text box. Okay, so I need to write this statement before I use to clear the text box, and then before that I have to also display the text, also display the operation which is there on text box. So we have taken the operation, whatever the operation like multiplication, division is there, we are taking the symbol of that operation in OP, and we can also display that symbol on text box. Once the text is clear, we have taken the first number from the text box for operation. Then we clear the str, then we add the text box value on label, then we clear the text box, whatever the text on button we want to display that text as operation on text box. So after that I want to concatenate this with the label. So this is the code that we can write for this operation button. So similar code we need to write for every operation. This is the code we have written for division. The same code we need to repeat for this multiplication button. I am making copy of it. Okay, we only need to change here is what we need to change here. So whatever the button it is, button 8 is there, we have to take the text which is there on button 8, that is called operation. Then we can also repeat this code for this minus. Okay, button name for the minus is button 12, so I need to write here button 12. Again to this plus, again I am copying the same code. The button is 16 there, so I need to change here button 16. Okay, so let's check whether it is working or not. So I am going to start this program. So once I start, here is the output. I am giving the input like this 1 2 3, then multiplication. Here the multiplication is added on text box and the expression is 1 2 3 multiplication. Then after that again we are going to type something here. So these things we have to take as a second number. Again, before using the equal to button, whatever the text we entered in text box, this we need to consider as a second number. So we need to write the code for this equal to button. We have not written the code for this equal to button yet, so we can directly move towards the code for writing equal to button. We can use the code like this: minus, multiplication, division, etc. If we write like this, the expression will be added there. Okay, but the number second is not there, so that's why we cannot use this equal to button. So we need to write the code for this equal to button. So now I am going to write the code for this equal to button. So what will the code for the equal to button? So after this operation, whatever the text which is there, after this operation, if the number 1 is there in n1, we have taken the number 1 as a input after using this operation. In equal to button, when if the number 1 is there, we have to take the second number, whatever the text which is there in text box, we have to consider that text as a second number. So for that I am going to write the code for this equal to. So while performing some operation, error may occur, so for that I am going to write the code in try catch. So I am writing like this, exception e2. So what will the code for this equal to? First we need to read the number which is there in text box as a first number. So I have to convert the text which is there in text box, as a first number. So for that I can write the code like this: text box 1.text. Okay, text box 1.text. So we have taken the first number as a input. After taking the first number, we can concatenate that text to label. Label 1.text equal to label 1.text plus text box 1.text. We can concatenate like that. We'll concatenate the empty string in the label. Okay, so after this, so number should be displayed there. So for that I have written like this. Okay, whatever the text is there after getting the n1. Okay, we have taken this as a first number, and after selecting the equal to, okay, so whatever the operation which is added there, we have to concatenate that operation to this label. That operation may be multiplication, division, like that. Then so whatever the operation which is given, we have to compare this operation, and according to the operation we can perform okay. Here we have to take here the text which is there in text box as a number 2, but when we can get this number 2, if the number 1 is there, if number 1 is greater than 0, it means the first number is added, and then only we can read the second number. So we have to modify the code like this. Okay, so first number we have taken when the operation is used, and the equal to button, for the equal to button, if the number 1 is there, if the first number is given, it means n1 consists of greater than 0 value. If the n1 consists of greater than 0 value, then only we can take the second number. Okay, after getting the second number, so we can perform the operation. So we need to check the operation which is given by the user. To check the operation, we can use the switch statement here. We can pass the operation to switch statement directly, and we can write the switch statement like this. The case, here we need to check the case. So whatever the case is there, if the case is division, case value is division, then we can simply perform ANS equal to number 1 division number 2. We can write like that. Then after that we need to break this case. So similar code we need to write for every case. Here we have to specify the semicolon. Then we can copy this text for every operations. If the operation is multiplication, then we can perform the multiplication between the two numbers. Then we can again write the code for subtraction. We can perform subtraction if the case is subtraction. Again, if the case is addition, case value is addition, we can perform the addition. So in this way we can perform the operations in equal to button. So after this operation we can display the answer value to text box. So how can we display the text box? 1.text equal to ANS dot toString. We need to convert the ANS to toString because ANS is a double value declared at the beginning of your program in the class. You can use either toString function, or you can write like this. We can concatenate as empty string with your answer. If you concatenate empty string with your answer, you need not to write this toString function to convert that string to convert that number to string. Okay, we can either write this toString, or we can concatenate ANS with double quote. Then what we have to do is, after the operations, after this operation we can clear the text, the text which is there in str. We can also clear the text box value. We need not to clear the text box value. But we can display the result in label also. Label.text equal to label1 dot text is equal to label1 dot text plus, here we will display the equal to in expression, and we can concatenate the value here answer. Okay, label1 dot text equal to answer, or whatever the text is there in text box, that is answer. We can concatenate the text because we have already added the answer to text box. We can concatenate the text box value with label value, so that it will be considered as a result of the expressions. With the expression, whatever the expression which is there in, we have added in label, with that expression the result will be so added. So in this way we can perform the operation for the equal to button, in equal to button. Then we'll test for the code whether it working properly as per the code that we have written is. I am going to start the program. So I am testing the calculator. I am giving here 45, then multiply, then 5, then equal to 45 into 5 is correct. Okay, then if I again use this minus, so then it takes whatever the text which is there in text box as the first number 225 minus suppose 8 is equal to 270. Now it giving the correct answer, means that whatever the code we have written is working properly. So again if we give the input like 56, so it is a separate number, and if you want to add this separate number 56 plus 6 is equal to 62, like that we can get the result. In every expression we have added the space so that we can understand what is the expression and what is the next value or what is the result of the expression. Okay, so in this way we can perform the operation like this. So whatever the code we have written, according to that code it working properly. If I use 45 minus 6, again it working properly. So whatever the code we have written there, we will test for the division. I am dividing 147.25 by 9 is equal to something 16.3888, like that it will display. We can wrap the text of this label. The text is not displaying here. Okay, we can wrap the text, okay, so that we can understand the expression, etc. Okay, so now let's move to write the code for this back button and this clear button. So how to write the code for this back and clear button we will see. First we will write the code for this back button. To this back button, what we have to do is, when we enter the number like this and when we use the back button, so whatever the number is there in text box, from that number we only have to delete this 6 number, means we have to extract this 2 digit. So using substring function we can extract the digit that is required and we can keep the digit that is not required, and after extracting we can add the values, extracted value, to this text box. We can, using the simple substring function, we can delete this digit. Okay, we'll delete the digit as per the requirement. So we'll write the code for this back button. So now we are going to move to design window. I am double clicking on this back button and I am writing the code like this. I am declaring the variable here, a string variable, string s equal to, so whatever the text is there in text box, I am getting that text in s1. So s equal to s dot substring, I am writing like this, s dot substring equal to substring, actually substring get the substring of string. So from the first string, first character, I need to extract the string to the length of the text box. Text box 1 dot text dot length minus 1. Up to the length minus 1 we can extract the characters from this text box, and then we can display this s2 text box, so it will display the text. Similar to that, we also need to extract from str, because our number is there in str. We have concatenated the number in str. So str equal to str dot substring, we can write like this, 0 comma, and the remaining matter we can copy like this. So this is the code for this back button. Let's check whether it is working or not. So I am going to start this program. So I am using here 4, 5, 6, 9 and I am using the back button. So here it working, 6 is deleted, 4 is deleted, 5 is deleted, 4 is deleted, like that. And after that some error may occur because there is no text to subtract, there is no text in text box to subtract. So we can use the try catch mechanism here also if the no text is there, or we can check if the text is not there in text box, we can write the condition like that. But to avoid such condition, we can simply write the code in try catch. Okay, so whatever the exception is there will be handled at runtime, so we need not to care about that. Or we can write the code like that. If the text is not there in text box, then so this statement will not execute. Or we can write this statement inside the condition. Okay, or if you write the statement in try catch block, it also works. And again I am going to start this program. So again I am use testing for the back button. So 2 should be deleted when I use this back button, then 1 should be deleted, 6 should be deleted, 4 should be 4, like that. So it's not working now. So if I again use the 56 minus 9 equal to, so it's giving the proper output as per the requirement. So we have written the code for this back button successfully. Then we can move toward this clear button. So these are the equal, perform the same role. We will write the code for this button. You can write this code here. Okay, so I am writing the code for this. So for that I am again moving toward the design window. I am double clicking on this clear button. So what will be the code for this clear button? First I need to clear the str. Whatever the text is there in str I need to clear. Again I have to clear the text box dot clear. We can use the function clear to clear the text. Then we can clear the value n1, we can clear the n2. Okay, and we can also clear the label which is there, label text we can clear, label dot text is equal to clear. Okay, after that we will test whether it is working or not. Okay, I have started the program. I am using 456 and doing the operation multiplication here. After performing multiplication the result is like that, and now I am using the minus 6 equal to, so like that it showing the correct result. And now I am using this clear button. After this clear, the label text we have cleared, the text in text box we have cleared, all the number n1 n2 we have cleared. Again we will check for the sex operation whether it is doing properly or not. 56 minus 9 is equal to 47. It is showing the correct result. So in this way we can design the simple calculator in C#.net. I hope you understand the code that we have written. So we'll stop here. Thank you.